Welcome everyone to our mostly weekly, well actually it's weekly, WeAwake meditation time, and it's using tracks that we've developed in iAwake to do a whole bunch of things, but to entrain the brain into deeper desired states of consciousness. And today we're going to be doing track 2 of the album VisionQuest. And this is a 30-minute meditation. And Heidi, who's normally with us, is not here because she is preparing to go on a vision quest. And that's when you go out in the wilderness and by yourself and find a spot and you fast. And it's going to last 3 days, 4 days. That's the normal extent. And you find your consciousness being changed by being in the wilderness, being away from. Yeah, I had a guy one time who I didn't take him out, but a friend of mine did on a vision quest, and he brought his phone with him. Let me say it wasn't a very successful vision quest for him. So yeah, you got to leave all that stuff behind, and that can be really, really kind of scary. The things that we depend on for comfort, homes, our houses, sleeping under the sky, and at the mercy of gods, if you will, about weather and all of this stuff, and you're not eating. It's really powerful, and fasting, of course, has been recognized for a long time as a powerful way to clarify the vision. And although we're not what we're doing now is just a 30-minute meditation, but I would suggest that everyone make this a mini vision quest. In other words, go inside, try to clear all your stuff, and you can just talk to God, talk to being, talk to greater intelligence that all our ancestors talked about and knew about, except some of the more intelligent people on the planet now don't talk about it. They'll figure that anyway. And it is important that we have a vision, what we're supposed to be doing in our lives. And it was always been very important for me ever since I was a kid. And Pam can tell you, I don't going out and having fun is not the biggest thing in my life. It's doing what I believe I'm supposed to be doing. And if we haven't found that what we're supposed to be doing this time around, okay, it is important that we do, because it's hard to have a fulfilled life unless you feel that kind of inner guidance, inner wisdom, inner knowing that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And when you achieve that, a lot of other things begin to fall in place, and it makes a difference. In the traditional vision quest, people would go out. Usually, it was young men who were moving from childhood into adulthood, and they didn't have teenagers; they just had the kids, and then you became an adult. And finding out, their medicine, what was their gift to give back to their tribe. And maybe we can focus on that in this meditation. What is our gift that we can give back to our tribe? The tribe expands and expands as we grow. It goes from being egocentric to family-centric to your group-centric to nationalism-centric to world-centric to universe-centric. So it's just the thing that keeps expanding as we evolve and evolve. And you can still, care about yourself while you're being universal-centric. It doesn't mean that you no longer care about your friends and your family and your country and all these different things. It's just that you transcend, as Ken Wilber said, you transcend and include. You get higher than this down here, but that circle still includes all the prior stages of caring. So, everybody go? And it's okay when you start this inside, just to, just give a prayer, say a prayer to whomever you pray for. And if you don't pray, try experimenting with it, Hello out there or in here, or wherever you are. I don't quite know who you are, but I'm taking a chance and I'm acting for some guidance. So please help me to live the life I'm supposed to live. Give me a vision for that life. I'm just checking this out. So, and one of the things that I say is, please speak clearly, God, because I got a thick skull, and if it's subtle, I probably won't pick it up. So I think that's a good prayer. So without further ado, let's do this, and we'll see each other on the other side, or you can keep looking at me if you want, but I would recommend you close your eyes. And this is VisionQuest track 2. Let me find it on my little magic box here. Here we go. And again, this is a 30-minute track, added in trains to a theta, and on top of theta, and then deep theta, and then also delta, all at the same time. So it's just a mixture of, as we've developed this technology over years, we experimented and done all kinds of new things that we haven't done before in this particular field. So this is particularly designed for VisionQuest. So sit up straight if you can, spine straight. Relax. And I'll do just a simple relaxation thing when we begin the track, and then go into it. And this is a way that I use to relax, and it really works. If I go into a doctor's office and I've been upset or something like that, take my blood pressure. I say, give me a minute or two, and then I'll do this thing, and it goes down substantially remarkably. So it does work, and the more you do it, the better you get. So, except for what I'm going to say, it's weird, but anyway. Breathe deeply. Let's go out. Again. 5. 4. 3. 2. Deeply relax. 1. Relaxation. Bon voyage. Okay, well, how is that for everyone? Kind of the theme of the meditation and that particular practice, VisionQuest, looking for purpose and meaning and direction in your life, mission, if you will. But and sometimes being or God can speak in infinite ways. It doesn't have to be just one way. Sometimes we just know things, to it. Other times we see a vision in our mind's eye. Somebody will come and talk to us, and it's like, wow, it's like an angel. It's exactly what I needed to do. But one thing I think that is important, especially these really divided times, a practice that will help your soul to be sensitive and open to hearing this intuitive voice, is practicing kindness and respect for all creatures. I've told the story before, but I had a student one time when I was working with clients. He's a really smart guy, had a ton of money, had been very successful. So, John, I think I got all this. What can I work on now? Well, he said, well, stop being such an arrogant asshole. Yeah. Now, how do you treat people, at the gas station or the grocery line, or the airport? You treat each person as if they are a manifestation of divinity. And okay, so he went out and he had a mission to go out and treat everyone with respect. I find it very powerful. I'm not real social. I don't get around a lot, but when I do, I really appreciate it. But I find that going to the grocery store and in line, when you start talking to the man or the woman behind the counter there, doing this very repetitive, almost zone-like job, and just if you connect with them, say something kind or nice, or it's not one strategy, but I often find that it really gets powerful for the couple of minutes that we're together. It opens up, and I leave feeling more at peace and with more hope. Yeah, I think that needs to be one of the first commandments, is to treat everyone with kindness and respect, even when you don't agree with them, especially when you don't agree with them. So that's a challenge. Yeah. So take that to heart. And also it came to me a few years ago when I was, my life has been, a continual vision quest. And sometimes, our direction of our life changes, a new career, a new path, oh, really? And you have to kind of start with the beginner's mind and start all over again. And I'd been a wilderness guide for a number of years. And the only two things I'd ever been really pretty good at was, I was pretty good at singing songs. But with being a soldier, an MP, and being a Vision Quest guide, and I was walking down the trail, pinyon pine forest, and I just really heard the voice clearly. It wasn't audible. I didn't hear a voice from outside, but the interior voice that says, "You're done with this." Oh, I was like, the only thing I know how to do. What am I going to do? Go work at an office or something? Sorry. So anyway, that opened a big door for me to explore. And Pam, she was a therapist working a particular program, and she was still, going on all cylinders. It was time for me to quit. So she, bless your heart, gave me a little space, trying to figure out what my life was going to be about. And that's when I started writing a book about recovery, integral recovery. Still a good book. And it just started coming through me. And that's, addiction is one of the biggest problems on the planet. So it's said that, that a lot of people have been helped by it. And okay, so I followed my vision there. And once you get there, sometimes it just starts coming through you. It's like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's what it was. Just, Ken Wilber said one time he doesn't write to tell people what he knows. He writes to figure out what he doesn't know himself. So the act of writing becomes, you're teaching yourself. It becomes a revelation. Oh, I never thought of it that way. And it just starts coming through. So a few years ago when I was in this prayer meditation session, it's kind of, my practice has evolved over the years. And I can't really separate prayer and meditation as separate things for very long. It seems to belong together. Yeah, I believe, my experience has shown me that there is a God, some great mystery that we call God, that personally can make all the trees live and make me and you live and actually speak to us and speak to our hearts directly. So that's just, and I went through a period where I've been in I've been in a religious cult, and I left that and I just had to put everything on the shelf. No, I don't know anymore. I can't even think about this without all this cult stuff coming in. So I just go, okay, that Cat Stevens song. So I'm on the road to find out. If it comes out that I'm just agnostic or an atheist or whatever it turns out to be, I don't care. I just want the truth. And that led to a rather interesting life. So I was praying, meditating, prayitating. That's good. Meditating. And I had this vision, really clear. And I usually don't get visual things. That's not how it happens. Essentially, some other way. But this angel flew up. Seriously, this happened. I was on my medication, so anyway, it came up to me and touched my mouth. Just this classic looking angel. It's kind of flew off into this blue infinity, and that was powerful. And my interpretation of that was, that I have a mission to speak, to talk, to teach, and that's certainly been affirmed by this experience of Roger Waltz and our team of doing the Deep Transformation podcast. All these amazing people. We have this ongoing conversation with A.H. Almas, Hamid Ali, and it's been very transformative. And so that was an affirmation, and that's our 100,000 subscriber thing, which happened a while back. So it grew much faster than we expected. So it seems to be working. There's something both Roger and I feel we have this. We're in a zone. It's the logos coming through, God or spirit or, the great mystery, great spirit, however you want to talk about it. There's something that happens. And just as important as speaking is the process of deep listening. Listen to people. And people really sense when you can listen to people with respect and truly be there for them present. It's amazing what happens. People just open up. They get away from just reading the bullet points like they always talk about on podcasts or this or that, and it just opens a space that is creative and is safe and is inspiring. So, yeah, that's kind of how some of the experiences I've had in VisionQuest, in both in more traditional prayer, fasting, and wilderness, and just in my daily interior work, my practice that I do every day, to align myself with my higher purpose, my best self, so that I can in some way contribute to healing and goodness, and not just be another issue. And there's all kinds of ways that I can manifest. There's not just one way of being a good person. I think Aristotle said, talking about virtue, what is virtue? We have virtue, kindness, goodness, truth, beauty. There's all these things. But how do you act virtuously? And I think he came to the conclusion is doing what's appropriate. When you're in that zone and just like, okay, this is how I'm supposed to be approaching this person, doing this thing, or writing this song, or writing this, whatever I'm writing. It's just to be what spirit calls for in the moment. And and that might be out in the streets, protesting injustice or whatever's going on. I've done that before too. And sometimes it may be quiet, praying for people. I do that a lot. Sometimes when my mind doesn't shut up, I'll go, okay, maybe I can use my mind. And I pray for you, individuals, for you guys out there. And I don't limit it to people that are still with us in the body, that are alive, so to speak. I pray for my parents and my brother and people that I've known that had huge impacts. I mean, Wallace Black Elk, Alan Cohen, and just these people that were mentors. And I reach out to them. And I don't know if it's working, but it certainly makes my heart feel better, So, yeah, the answer's there if you look for it. And how it comes to us is, like Hamid says, there's like infinite ways of becoming enlightened, of realizing your true nature and the true nature of you all. Can't just limit it. Sometimes in a different spiritual tradition, try to put it in a box. This is what it looks like. And according to me, it ain't so. So you can't limit how being, which Hamid's favorite word, you didn't talk about God, but it's the same thing. In my humble opinion, sometimes I separate God for being and writing that works for me. So, is there to teach us and to guide us? Realize that well, one of the things I realized, I couldn't do it by myself. I need help from people that would love me, that I love, my dog, and also that inner connection with spirit, God, the soul. That I suggest that you get an interior practice going on. Do it in the morning, best, or you get overwhelmed by the world. You start looking at this, answering emails and reading the news, like, oh God, stuff that happens. And that makes it really hard to kind of meditate on thinking about all this stuff. But you can actually send out energy and pray. What is my part? What am I supposed to do in this? And if you do that, if you pay attention, I think you'll get it. It'll start coming to you. However, if you resist that voice, it'll shut up. And somebody that said one time, if you resist the voice of conscience, it will soon stop speaking. Okay? Conscience is also an indicator of what we're supposed to be doing. But if you keep resisting them, don't listen to it, it'll shut up. So you have to approach it with respect and humility. And okay, here I am. Not sure. I'm an agnostic. I don't know about the nature of reality. I just don't know. I have my doubts about what I was taught as a kid. That's okay. And again, I quote this quote that I picked up somewhere along the road. There's more faith in the doubts of an honest person than there is in all the archangels in the mind of God. So take that to the bank. It's pretty cool. It's okay to have doubts. It's okay to have doubts and look for the truth. That's very noble. It's very invitative. And my dog really wants to go outside, and I should pay attention to that particular voice. And she has me well trained. That Pam can tell you, she pretty much gets her way. But she's a very sweet, good dog. Good blessing. So anyway, that's enough for today. Thank you for being here. And remember to practice interior meditation. The WeAwake stuff really helps with that. You can use that, or you can do a traditional way, whatever feels right to you. Experiment, see what works. And not only what works, but I think over the years, as you go on the journey of interior growth, that it will just keep evolving and developing as you go. So, okay, I could say more, but I shouldn't, right? Hey, God bless you guys. Thank you for being here again. let's hang in there together and try to get through this really challenging period in a good way. That's it.